Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Quantum Tater. Say hello, Quantum Tater. Ah. How are we doing on this fine day? This fine day on Pertam. Welcome to this, the Malafor and a base we fought. We fought the law, and the law lost horribly. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole story. Scene over and fiend. Um, Last time on Spaceball Z, we did fight this thing, and we got a little banged up in our pronoid, which lives there. That guy welded it up, and I got that all done off screen. I think I got all the parts fully welded up. I think therefore I am. I think I had some extra, like, just indentations and some deformation I needed to take care of. But for the most part, I attempted to build a pronoid Mark III that was a flyer and would take us into combat, a combat era of like which you've never been seen. And the problem is, this thing's weapons are on top because it is a ground assault vehicle. It is typically meant to fire upwards. And, well, a flyer flying overhead, we would want forward-facing weapons and firing downward. And so I built a couple of designs, messing around, and I realized that it wouldn't probably work. And then I built the design that I affectionately called the gunship. I actually have two gunships, gunship light and a gunship. And both of them I think would be great. But in reading the comments, chat appears that I have enough resources to go ahead and skedoodle out of this place known as Pertam. And he thinks it's time to leave the planet. Now, what am I doing here? I'm just chopping stuff up because I can. That's really it. I'm not really doing anything in particular for any reason. This is me talking and thinking. Thinking and talking. We're chopping and thinking. So.
Inventory full.
Whoops. Inventory full. What am I thinking? So, I want, if we are going to deliver, wow, that is literally hanging by a thread. I would like, if we're going to deliver ourselves into a new era, into the spacefaring era, we are going to need some parts, which we have. I'm pretty sure we have enough parts. I don't think I need to be doing this. I'm doing this to think. But we're going to have to do some redesign pretty aggressively on the ship. As you know, it is not exactly built for survivability. It is mostly built out of chaos. And that's okay, because it's worked so far. Chaos. Oh, my bad. Chaos has worked, for the most part. But we're going to need more than chaos. We're going to need... Oh, chase it down. Nice. We're going to need more than chaos. We're going to need some thoughts and some mechanical know-how and some knowledge that I don't know that I possess. At least I think.
Inventory full.
Oops. There's a lot of parts we just inventory full. And so, you know what I could do? I could just get into the flying squirrel and do this. In fact, let's go ahead and do that while we sit here and talk and think. Let's go ahead and pop over here. I actually do not have... what is going on in here? Oh, crap. Aw, scrap. That's a mod. I don't have that mod installed, but that is scrap right there. Let's see. 8. And we need grinders, right? That's what we need to... Oh, no, that's not... That's interesting. What happened to the... Oh, there it is. Okay, grinders. Here we are. Let's go ahead and grab... Wow, I had enough to build both of these. That's both fantastic and interesting. So, why am I chopping all this down? I don't know. I want to talk it through. So, Chad says, it appears I have enough resources to perhaps consider heading to space, finding an asteroid with iron, ice, or both, and building a small station. Begin planning building a sturdy combat ship and a jump ship to haul it. Seek out Factorum and not get spanked. Now that is likely not possible. I don't know that the not get spanked portion is possible, but it's not a bad idea as far as heading to space. Now, the problem with the vehicle as we come over here to grind, slowly but surely, are we grinding? Oh, we're not grinding. Give me just a second. We'll get this onto the bar. We'll go ahead and press that button right there. It's interesting they're spinning in different directions. That is fascinating to me. So the problem, if there was a problem, is this. The ship has not been routed for the type of, or it's not really been routed for anything in terms of thrust. So in order to get all the routing done, we're going to have to do quite a bit of piping, quite a bit of change up. It's going to be very interesting. I do have enough things to make a single jump drive, which is great because it means we get to space, we take a jump, we can jump to wherever we want to go. The issue is power. If we don't bring an absolute metric ton of ice, if we don't bring an absolute metric ton of ice, we're not going to be able to repower the base. And that doesn't work naturally.
Fuel low.
Oh, we're going to need... All right, we're going to do it.
Fuel critical.
Hoo hoo hoo! Nice try, nice try. Let's grab the hydrogen. Make sure that fills up my tank. Does it? Did it? There we go. That's what we wanted. There we go. Let's get back over there. So, oh, I survived the first thing. So yes, we're gonna have to deal with what it means, so to speak, to reroute all the things because it wasn't designed for space. Obviously, it was a static base. I say static. Honestly, it was more of a. If I could go back and restart this series, I think what I would do, if I were gonna do it, and I'm not, I would never. But if I were gonna restart the series, I think one of the things I would do is I would go back and I would try to basically in admin mode. I would take a what do you call it? I would take a. I gotta fix the weather. It's irritating me. I know we're not supposed to be doing this stuff, but we're having a conversation. We're having a conversation. So I would take the weather. No, I wouldn't take the weather. I would find a base and I would just co-opt it in admin mode, and then I would start with that base, like this base right here. I would say, okay, this base is now Quantum Tater's base. He's going to own it, and this is the base I have to make mobile. Something along those lines. I think that'd be neat. Like it means that I have to design somebody else's stuff instead of pre-designing a base that could be converted to the rover. Now that does look very similar to the original rover type base that I it looks like a rover because I basically designed the base thinking like, oh, this is going to have to be a rover, and my brain didn't pick up on that until later, so I feel like I didn't do myself dirty or anything, but I feel as if I did a slight disservice because I didn't like...
Low health.
Oh my gosh, that's not low health. You haven't even seen low health, lady. You underestimate my power of low health. Um, but anyways, obviously I didn't like, I didn't, I can't say I didn't realize it. I didn't think about it, but I very clearly made a base that ultimately was not a base at all. It was a rover that it was static. I mean, I already had wheels kind of on it because I wanted to start off with some stuff. Like obviously not everything, but I wanted to start off with some hardware and things like that. And then I found the Pronoid, or not the Pronoid, I'm sorry. I found the Phasmid, and of course that jump starts our production of all things. So what I'm saying is it is not a designed ship for hydrogen base, which means we're going to have to do quite a bit of stuff. Now, I'm not opposed to it. I think it's very easily doable, and I'm only taking all this stuff because I'm talking. And because it's here, and ultimately it's going to disappear, so why not grind it while we're here? Especially since I think what's going to happen if I'm not going to go static grid right this second, but if I'm going to build this thing up, I am going to lock it down. Just with landing gear, and then I'm going to go through the efforts of building it, which means I'm going to have to take down all of the I'm going to have to take down all the things such as I'm going to have to take down all the things such as like I'm going to take the thrusters off and stuff. It will no longer, like, I'll probably leave the wheels on to the very last minute just in case we needed to skadoodle. We could relocate the thing, but then it'll be kind of a pseudo static base of operations in which I will operate off of this thing and I will come back as needed to collect all the stuff. So that's what I think is that's what I'm thinking right now. It's just my brain moving slowly through the process. I didn't even know there was a Willis duck that there. I wonder. It's interesting that you can't store things in Willis ducks because if you could, like, you could have a Willis duck like this, and then you could put those like storage crates in there, and you could hide like cool pronoid stuff or pronoid factorum stuff or whatever. You could hide things in it and be like, oh, look at this. Look at this stuff that I found inside this Willis duct that exists, but you can't really do that because nothing. You can't build inside the Willis duct, which I think is not a missed opportunity, but it's definitely an opportunity that I guess it is a missed opportunity. Like maybe one of the Willis ducts has like a storage compartment, so you could hide stuff in it. That could be kind of neat. Something to think about. I'm not a modder, nor do I want to learn the skills necessary to be a modder because that's a whole process. I just don't have the capacity to want to learn. So if anybody in the world wants to mod that stuff, by all means, get after it. So we're eating the space up just for fun. While we sit here and talk. Now, let's see. Clyde, he said he's sorry he missed the battle I didn't start. Me too, man. Me too. It was rookie mistake. Not my first rookie mistake. Won't be my last either. I'm gonna many more rookie mistakes to come. But I was also a little disappointed that that happened the way it did. But it is what it is, you know. You work through it and you move on. So let's see. I think I've got all the valuable stuff really off this. It's just steel plates and interior plates at this point. But we're gonna keep going while I talk. Let's see. So to build and fight, so I had a thought. So find an asteroid base, build a thing to fight the Factorum. That's an idea for a story. We could kind of change up the thing and no longer be like no static grids. We could move to the like, okay, you're allowed to have a static grid type thing. And that is an idea. What do we have there? Why is that? Um, I don't know. I don't know why that is. But if we wanted to do that, we could totally switch it up and say, okay, now we can have the static grids and they're allowed and all that stuff. And a static grid just specifically as a base. That looked like a thing that was on planet. Did anybody else see that, or is that the same unknown signal that's been happening in space? It might be the space one. That's fine. Go ahead and chop, 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 chop. That's gonna make those things fall over there. This thing's getting a little heavy, a little slow. It's okay. It's what it is. It sounds like my rover's moving even though it's not. I'm just saying. It does sound like that. So that's the plan. That's the thoughts right now. Like we get to space. So you're saying make a static base, and I'm not against the static idea, static asteroid base, like with a couple of resources we need the most of. But I was also thinking, what if we were just like a roving band, and every time we found a ship, we found a way to tack it onto the Malafor, and it just grows and grows and grows until eventually it has so many assault cannons and batteries that even if it encounters the Factorum, they would be destroyed by the sheer volume and the inability to kill a ship with that much mass. That's kind of what I was thinking. This giant roving monstrous space hulk that just collects like a barge. Just collects stuff, tacks it on. We're like the Borg. We add their collection to their uniqueness to our ship, and then we just keep moving on. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm so much faster than that grinder, even with two of them going. Like, yeah, they can grind more spots in a single go, but I'm so much quicker. At least it feels quicker. Maybe it isn't. All right. What if we just like slowly drift into this? No, it's not doing what I wanted it to. It's weird which ones it takes first. It's not always the same. So, that's my thoughts. That's kind of the start of this episode. Me chewing stuff up and thinking through all the processes, like this turret tower getting gone. So with that, I think what's going to happen is there stuff in the ground. There is. Wow, look at that. Oh, we are too heavy. And this is why we have welder down. This is why we can hit 5 and 7. Look at that. We're grinding through stuff that's invisible. You know, I turned off tool shake with the intent of that not happening. Um, we're going to go drop all this stuff off. All right, raise these back up. Let's go drop this crap off because this thing is overloaded. It's burdened with weight. And then we're going to start the process. I think we're going to do is I'm going to grind this all down, or it's going to disappear before I finish that process. When I do that, what we'll do next is we will see what the next step is for us as a, oh, let's do not do that. Let's go back. Where's my, this is still terrible. Remember how Lord Chaos was like, you should make this platform bigger, it's too much. You're not wrong. All right, let's get this crap out of there. Come on, Izzy. Chop, chop. Get the crap out of this inventory. Let's go. Ship only. Why are you not taking all this? What are you doing? There you go. Thank you. Thank you for your time. You've been very helpful. Ugh! I'm going to blow this thing up. That's what's going to happen. I had an idea, speaking of which, I might do this just for fun. I think it could be very entertaining, but I had an idea about this thing, this engineering idea. So speaking of which, while we're talking about this and still kind of yammering around, what are we, 17 minutes? Oh, good Lord, 17 minutes of me grinding this base down for reasons unbeknownst to me, other than I felt like it was a good time to talk about grinding stuff down. So I had this idea, and this is somewhat, if you've ever watched Engineered Coffee, if you haven't, I highly recommend it. That guy is a madman when it comes to this game's engineering stuff. It's pretty impressive. I'm actually alarmed by how good he is at the engineering of things, and not just coffee. He can engineer more than coffee. Actually, I don't even know that he can engineer coffee, but he is a really good engineer. All right. But one of the things that he did that I thought was highly impressive is he has a system, and it's fully automated, small grid, and it attaches these arms. This is sort of the idea this is where I initially got the concept of having hinge jointed stuff. And he has this like system where he goes in, presses a button with timer blocks and various things, and he literally swaps the arms out from grinder to welder. Like he just goes in, it swaps them out. It's freaking amazing and a little bit absurd. And I don't have any idea how he manages it. It's just one of those things that he's engineered, and it's crazy to me, and it's cool, but it's crazy. It's cool, but it's crazy. So if you guys are interested, I think what I might do really quick while we're doing this, I might cut to, I don't know if we're going to time lapse me chewing this thing up, but what I could do really quick is I could show you the designs I had. You guys want to have some fun for a second? Let's take a quick thought ski about, I'd have to unload reload, and you'll see all my weird test worlds. I have to say though, from my first episode to this one, from my first series to this one, I have far less worlds. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. I have far less I have far less test worlds than I do in the 25 series than I did in all of the 2024 series, which obviously I didn't start at the beginning of the year, so that's not highly surprising. It's just, I don't know, it's interesting to me that like I've gotten better at not like using the world to test too much, or like I've been trying not to build a whole bunch of stuff offline, but when I have time and I don't feel like recording, so I'm waiting for comments, what I do is I will go in and build test stuff and like, oh, would I like the way this looks? Do I think this is neat? And that's kind of how I get some ideas for stuff, and um, gives me time to think about design. And of course, it never works out the way that I really want it to, because obviously the design is always, um, let's go ahead and get this. My dog is whining right now. I don't know if you guys can hear him. He's very whiny. He is not tough. He's what I would call anti-tough. Oh, it is out of space. It's that 29-kilometer away ship Mayday. It's probably a trap. Probably a pirate trap. Um, so that's just what it is. Pirate trap and my dog crying. I don't really need these blocks. I'm just, like I said, we're just talking stuff out and I'm chopping stuff up. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grind this stuff down, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring you back once I get to the unloading and the loading of this thing. I'm gonna drop down real quick. We're gonna just stop this thing. We're gonna I'm gonna grind the rest of this, and then I will pick you up here in a second, and I will show you the things I built just because I want to. So, be right back. They've been dissolved. All right. So real quick, stuff that in there, and let's just do a quick save scan. We're gonna jump out real quick. Yes, I don't know why I saved and then saved. Jump back out. We'll jump back in. I'll pick you up as soon as I get loaded in on my save with the gunships. Okay, I am back.
Fuel
So
critical.
let's take a quick look. See, so original Pronoid Mark II, Pronoid Light Mark II. And then I built this thing, and I was like, this would be cool. 2 downward-facing assault cannons. Um, it can fly. It's very heavy and lethargic. It doesn't work super well. And then I thought, okay, this thing's not going to work. It's disposed weapons. There's a lot of things that wouldn't work for it if you. Oops. So you can see. Oh, you know what I need to do? I'll clear the weather here too. So this is kind of my thought. Look at this thing. It's a heavy boat. It's a gunship. But see, it still has this top-mounted stuff, much like the original. And the issue with that, as you can see, is I'm not going to be getting attacked from above a lot, so I'm going to have to tilt down, which I don't have a lot of thrust to deal with that. And so 3 of my weapons are going to be mostly out of the fight unless I'm skimming down the surface. In which case, if I need to pull up emergently or something like that, that can be bad. And also you can see, even with 2 thrusters, like this thing does not stop itself with any amount of speed. So, does that thing. So that's the Pronoid. It was going to be the start of the Pronoid Mark III. And then I was like, okay, well, let's chop everything off the back. And this is kind of what I started to come up with. I have these 4 small, 1 large. Same thrusters there. I didn't go much further, but I was thinking about the way this is designed. And so I have the thrusts in here. Side thrusts. I got back thrust. I was starting to build out. Again, top mounted weapons. I didn't really make room for lower mounted weapons. I was thinking about potentially taking out these rails and putting in like an assault cannon. Of course, it didn't work. It wasn't really doing what I wanted it to. And then previously, and this has nothing to do with the Pronoid Mark II, but previously on Spaceball Z, I had built this thing. And this essentially was just a non-landable. I don't think it has landing gear. No, it does. It does have a landing gear. So I can pop down, hit 7, land it, hit 7. There we go. Lock down. So this thing, Gatling gun, assault turret or assault cannon, 2 side auto cannons for fun, some solar panels for power, tail fin like that. Mostly protected. It's got a lot of like some things, but the cockpit's super open, easy to get blown out of, toasty. Didn't really work. Although I thought like, oh, it could be cool. And if we look at this thing, I know it actually says gunship. It's actually gunship LTE. And that was just me building a gunship, thinking like, okay, I need a sniping weapon, which doesn't snipe great, and then I needed this. But this thing, not having 2 sniping weapons or not having like these 2 combined, weren't really working for me. But it has 3 reverse thrust. These guys here forward, so 6 and 6. So it doesn't even have, if I'm not mistaken, let me take a look at this thing. I think it can just barely keep itself aloft. No, it can't. It cannot keep itself aloft. It will eventually tank. And here I am, sideways, There we go. Get this thing on its belly. Yeah, so this thing didn't have the right thrust, and I didn't, after I designed it and tested it, because it's 53 tons. So that's heavy. He's a
Fuel
heavy boy.
critical.
Looks cool. I damaged the thing. That's fun. Good for me. I did that. Way to go. Way to go. Quantum. Good job. So I liked it. I liked the color scheme. And then, so I came for this, and this is the initial build of it, and then this is what I came with, the final. So this is the gunship. I think it's just gunship. It's just gunship Mark 1. Yeah, gunship Mark 1. So I already have a controller set up. You can see like it's got nav lights. It's got 6 side thrusts, so I believe it's 66 tons, so heavier, but I believe it can keep itself aloft sideways. No, it can't. Just kidding. Regret. Okay, so it can't keep itself aloft sideways, but it does have enough thrust to. Let's get some height. So it's got multiple down thrusters. Can it keep itself aloft forward? It can't. So it has a large thrust there, and then it also has additional. It doesn't have any additional forward and reverse thrust, but 2 assault cannons, and then 2 autocannons, 1 big assault cannon on the bottom, and then it has um, forward mounted assault. These are autocannons, right?
Fuel
Autocannons, yes.
critical.
So, and it has all of the hallmarks. I'm gonna turn the lights off. It's very armored cockpit, so it doesn't get immediately sniped out. It's got some heavy armor everywhere. If you take a look at the layout of the reinforcements, it's very reinforced. Anywhere you see this gold color, that is a reinforcement point that I've built into it. Um, anyway, so it's just a heavy atmospheric gunship. Thing's a tank. I have tested a little bit, not too much. Um, they were able to knock the screen off, but it managed to survive long enough. I have an autocannon camera, so I can zoom in, and then I can, if I need to, I can shoot things out. It has all the hallmarks of my other ships. It's got 2 gyroscopes, vent controller, has small cargo for ammo. It has um, does have a projector that is already turned on and set up properly, so when you load the thing in, it works. Multiple mag plates and a defensive AI controller, which still to this day does not do what it's supposed to, and it's a top docking. So it's got a landing gear at the back and then 2 mag plates right there so that it can dock on the belly without damaging this assault cannon. And it's pretty good at slowing itself down. It's still pretty heavy for what it's got, but I can lock us down. They don't auto lock. Everything is turned off so that it doesn't do the park. And then even with the lights on, so I've got 2 forward facing headlights, some back lights. So this thing makes quite a bit of light, and in this view it's not great, but in this view it's pretty good. And then if we come over here, it gets moving pretty good. It stops pretty good. It's obviously a heavy gunship. I would not say it's light by any means, but it's not meant to, it wasn't really, the idea wasn't really to be light, it was just to be effective, because I felt the pronoid was not effective. And then my thought specifically, what
Fuel
is that?
critical.
I thought, oh, you see there, you can see, look, it's fixable. My thought was specifically to be able to, and you can see it's got some what do you call it? Some greebling as far as the engines and stuff go. You can see through there, you see that engine. Um, can see into the thing. It's got some what I like to call hollow armor or blank space armor, so that you know not everything is fully connected. More engine thrust. I wanted it to kind of look like it could actually suck air in. Stuff like that. Did I get all the things welded up? Looks like I did. So, but then I can come in and say, okay, I think, oh, I don't have it set up on this channel, but basically I put in a camera so I could also dock using this right here. And then when I do that, it turns all the lights off, including nav lights, antenna, everything. That's it. That's my gunship.
Fuel critical.
I know my fuel's kind of, thank you, Janice. Look, let me get in here so you can fill my tanks up. Is that what you want? Does that make you feel better? Oh, the tank is, I'm definitely not.
Fuel critical.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll just get into the miner really quick. This will fill my tanks up because it's all piped properly. So yeah, that was my idea. That was the gunship idea. That's what I was thinking. Like I'm gonna build this, and then I'll have an atmospheric fighter. I can take on bases. I could be a land pirate, but I think Chad's right. Maybe we just get off the planet. And this was the gold version. This was the initial. I painted those red so I could color match. This was sort of the proof of concept as I added things. You can see the event controller in there. all the things. Just kind of seeing what we want it to look like. So let's get out of this. So I had a light gunship, not that light, honestly, it's still pretty heavy, just because I made it pretty armored. Uh, and then, yeah, so those are the things I created. That's fun time with me. We're gonna skip again, pick you up in a second. So now you guys are asking, what does this mean, Tater? What does it mean? And it simply means this. We are going to dock this guy up after we crash it, because that's what we do, we crash. We're going to dock this guy up really quick, and once we do that, our plan... Why is that not... I feel like that got damaged somehow. It didn't, it's just not recognizing that it exists. That's very odd. Can we... How do we feel about locking down, buddy? Huh. This is interesting, right? What just broke, we think? What broke? What broke? What broke? What broke? Probably, if I had to take a guess, I would say the landing gear broke. But why aren't you working? Are you turned off? No, you're on. If I have to reload, I bet. That's what it feels like I'm gonna have to do. Because it just... Oh, now it's got proxy. And the landing gear did break. Okay, let's... Nope, nope, we're just gonna deal with it. We're just gonna suffer the consequences of that, because this is stupid. Alright, so what does that mean? That means we gotta reroute stuff. We gotta do some stuff here. So what I want to do is I'm not probably gonna use this thing at all. In fact, we're gonna go ahead and dismount this. I had an idea, something silly about that, and I may actually still venture into the concept that I had, but now we're gonna do is we're gonna go here, grab this, grab some stuff. We're gonna grab some plates. 300 seems like a lot, but it's probably what we need. And then my plan, honestly, at this point in time, is going to be to build lift thrust. I think that's the first thing to do, first and foremost. The middle line of the ship is that container right there, which is beautiful. We're gonna do lots of things. We're gonna do some stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go into a build montage. I'm probably gonna chop some stuff down, get some things laid out. Because that's honestly what we need to do at this point is do that. So let's go ahead and get some T-junctions, and I'm going to get after it, and I will pick you up on the other side, and we'll see where we are at. Well, that happened. Alright, well, this is a good time for an update, I guess, given the fact that I've just died. Love that for me. It wasn't even that far of a drop. Stupid gravity. Oh, good. Okay, so what do we need to do? What is the, how do you, max impulse access, max? There we go. Lift that bad boy up. Alright, in theory, yeah, okay, so something fun about Space Engineers. Quick update. So, we're not changing this out yet. I'm adding a jump drive because we have the parts for it, so that's where it's going to be nestled, and it will be protected by a layer of stuff once I close this area in, and I will be closing this area in. If we hop into here real quick, I can do a pan out maybe. So the windmills basically are going to provide us temporary power, and it's just because the grid is locked down on that landing gear down there. And the reason it doesn't work is because the piston prevents the landing gear from doing that. So for whatever reason, when you lock a thing down on a piston because it's a subgrid, it doesn't technically make this grid static, and therefore the thing doesn't work in the same way. So that is why I did that. That was the whole point of that thing right there. So as you can see here, we have tons of down thrust. That's all going to be down thrust right there. We might even make this one also a down thrust so they all match. In fact, let's go ahead and do that now. T junction, yeah, I want the T. So all these things are still completely piped up and good to go. Make sure I can get that. And then what I can do is I can add some down thrusters. So those are going to be our down thrusters nestled in there nice and tight. I'm obviously, you see that I'm not getting rid of any of this stuff just yet. We may use it to convert additional stuff. I don't really know. I actually just had an idea. If we do this right here, and we say this right there, why can't I pick that? Ah, okay, let's go up here. Grab some components because we need components. So we can do this right here, and then I can add a couple of additional tanks once I get this thing squared away. And that's going to be an idea that I have just now. Let's see. Down right there. And we want this in blue, and we will make one. How many do you think we can make? Two? Oh, almost three. Yeah, we'll see. And that's just going to be extra storage for fuel. There we go, extra fuel storage. We've got plenty of down thrust. Let's see what we got. Let's go 9. Grab this guy here. We need to grab just some steel components. Maybe eat one of those. Use that right there. Can I use this? Oh, I don't need power kit yet. Grab this right here. All right. I'll grab some of these guys, and you will see what I'm trying to, what my thoughts are on this. Obviously, we're going to do small thrust. And these are just going to be the gray color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. If that can't lift this thing, to be honest, I don't know what can. I honestly, I don't really need that hole right there. Like if I get stuck down here, I'm stuck down here. That's a good point. That's a good point, Chris. You should probably, at the very least, let's grab this guy here. Let's just bring you down here real quick. Nice and nestled out of the way. On the off chance I screw up and forget to refuel myself, I can, you know, not have to chop that down and bring this thing down. So we should be charging. In fact, I'm going to go turn off to save what little uranium we have, because that's going to be a thing. We're going to need to conserve uranium. So to change what little uranium we have, and let's take a look at that. Let's just take a look at uranium. He put the come to uranium. Oof. Are we already... Huh. We've done chewed through the uranium. We don't have any uranium on this ship. That is not great, is what that is. Let's go ahead and grab. Oh, you know what? We don't need well pads right this second. We can do armor plate. We just need a light armor plate. Where's that at? Right here? Nope. Is that off there? This. We're gonna change this up to give me a better thing that I want. Right at that. Does it work? It does not work. This used to cover the whole thing. We're gonna need to make these airtight, and I was thinking that's what I was about to do with that. I'm thinking, oh, like that'll super make it airtight, but I don't think it will. Actually, weird. Which side do we put that on right there? Okay, so we could probably do that on this side. Yeah. What? This problem, I have my bars organized. I just do not. I simply don't have them organized. That's okay. Who does? Who does have them organized? Look, that looks great right there. No one. Yeah, that's perfect. And then still airtight. This guy's not airtight. End of the world. That's okay. That's what it is. For right now, because what we're gonna do, we're actually about to make it unairtight. Because I'm gonna do this right here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. My bad. Why can't I put that there? Oh, because of the slope. I know exactly why I can't put that there. Okay, we need stairs. One set of stairs, please. And you're gonna be clean gray. Oh, we're gonna need more than one set of stairs. So my plan is to have a second deck. And this is gonna be like we're gonna do some redesigning of this area here too. So let's go back to this. So we have tons of downward thrust. We have one big kahuna rear thrust. I'm thinking about doing a second one. I honestly wanted to see what that was gonna look like. This is the only time I'd want to use a welder right here is because the volume of metal grids. And I've got that to connect to that so it looks a little healthier, heftier, whatever you want to call it. We're not going to have a place to put the pronoid right away. That's okay. You know what? I'm just going to put all those plates in there. 24 metal grids. More metal grids. Large steel tubes. We're probably going to need large steel tubes, huh? I'm going to guess. I'll need to build some more. Okay, we don't want this thing to be on by any means. So we're going to have that. I don't know if we want it to stick out further than that, honestly. That's going to be step one. I think we do want it to stick out further than that. That may be a wash. And we have to chop that down and do something different with that. Let's see, sideways thrust, we're going to need plenty of. So we've got these pipes there that are going to be sideways thrust for us. I was thinking, thinking about this now. I don't use a lot of junctions, and I'll tell you why. There's a reason for this. Junctions, to me, like they take up, is my understanding, they take up the same amount of units as a storage crate, but they obviously provide, so now, ooh, and then I can do that. They provide like omnidirectional, but like storage crate does the same thing, but also um, behaves, but also what's the word I'm looking for? They take up the same amount of space, but they take up the same amount of units, but they don't provide storage. Where a storage crate, small storage does provide that, and I think that's useful. So successful. Let's get this guy welded up. All right, so we've got that. We should be filling all these things. We had plenty of ice. We may need to do an ice trip. That's possible. But if we're looking at, so we're looking at the um, gray. We're gonna do that. Put that guy there. Put this guy here. Got thrust there. Obviously, we can add more thrust as we go. Thrust there. These are not going to be only side thrusts. This is just, these are the places where I can easily add thrusters without any thinking. Like I've got those, all these things. Like I added all, obviously I had to think a little bit about this, but none of this bottoms out. If we were to land this thing back on the ground, none of these things are touching. So they're completely safe and inoculated from any damage down here. And I can box in most of this stuff. I can just say, like, we're just going to build a whole bunch of crap in. I've got my ore detector down there. I've got a ton of cavity space up there for batteries, which I may actually utilize. We should be, I don't know how much power we're generating. These things are probably not at maximum capacity, but that's okay. They don't need to be because we have enough of them, and it's just honestly at this point generating juice for the sake of juice. So the next step is obviously I think that's enough downward thrust. So we have these winglets, and I'm thinking these winglets might be forward and reverse thrust clusters. That's what I think is going to happen. I think I'm going to turn them into a reverse and forward thrust cluster. Now, the way to do that, obviously, you saw that I put this block right there. So it would cut through this thing, come straight out here into this large guy. So we can, honestly, we can cut this guy off. We're not going to be using it anymore. It is no longer important. We can go ahead and just grind out this guy.
Inventory full.
I know, inventory full. Thank you. Thank you for your services, Janice. I appreciate you, as always, telling me my inventory is full. Oh my gosh, of course it is. You know what? Your inventory's full. How about that? Maybe like them apples. So, got this guy. So obviously we can pipe this guy straight out, come into here, and then we can build a forward and reverse thruster cluster, including side thrust. I think we can, honestly, we can hollow out this engine, right? We can hollow it out, and then do the thing. Now, the issue that I have, if I start, once I cut this guy out, once I start taking those large thrusters down, these, obviously, they don't matter that much, right? They're
Inventory full.
mostly innocuous. Like, they're not the things we need to worry about.
Inventory full.
Because they're not the things generating most of the lift. Now, they did probably help a tremendous amount because what did we, we barely were getting off the ground with everything. So I could probably build these things up, but once I remove these things, this is back to being a rover only until we either have enough fuel, which we could take let's just take a status check on that. Let's come up here, status check. How are we doing on hydrogen? Hydrogens. Oh, these are thrusters. I don't care about that. Hydrogen tank. So you're at 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. You're filling? Yes, you're filling. 100 tank. So we're getting some filling done on the tanks because we do still have ice. Let's see how much ice we still have because we may need to do some ice runs in between. Oof. Is that really it? Ice. No, what's our refinery doing? Nothing? Are we really out of ice? I had like 300,000 pounds of ice. Damn, we're gonna need to go on an ice run. Definitely gonna need ice. That's gonna have to happen. So, yeah, all right, what are we at? We're at an hour and 4 minutes. There's gonna be some cuts.
Fuel
This may be a
low.
little, oh shoot. Yeah,
Fuel critical.
I know, Janice. Thank you for your unhelpful words. There we go. Get a little more fuel in the tank. No, you. You know what? I have an idea. Just in case. You take one of these, and you just hold on to that for me, buddy. That way, when I screw up and can't get back up there, you can be like, yeah, I got you, fam. And then I'll be like, yeah, bruh, I appreciate you. Yeah, bruh. Okay, so what do we think about that? These clusters become engine clusters. We keep the shrouding. If we can, maybe do some finagling with that right there. I don't know. I honestly think that's enough thrust. Like we could do it. We could do a lift set and see. We could do a check and we can see if these guys. You know, this is exactly what I built the welding ship for. Truly, it is. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? Let's go grab the welding ship. Let's use the thing that we built for this purpose. Let's just do the thing, and the thing. Three's Company too. Let's just do it. Okay, we need one of these guys. We need come over here. I don't need the big boys. I just need two small ones. There, there, that there. Okay. The landing gear fell off, right? That's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. I can fix that really quick. Let's go ahead and get this stupid contraption out. Do 9. Tilt down a little bit. We're gonna nudge forward. Nudging forward. We're nudging. Oh god, the lift on this thing is insane. Okay, do we remember where I had the landing gear at? I think I put it, I think it was this guy here. And I think we just had it like right there. Hit park on, no. Auto lock off, no. I'll call this. I don't even know if that's what we called it, truthfully. That's okay though. Grab this guy here. Go, come down here. Blah, 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 blah. Where's the thing at? We grab this bar here. We go here. Group spots, toggle blocks. Do this right there. Do this right here. Get rid of that. Home. We got this landing gear thing. Where is it at? I literally can't find it. There it is. Switch lock. Boom. 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 Got that right there. Let's go ahead and nestle this guy down onto the deck. Flop like a fish. All the things we do. Okay. Now. I don't know what's in my inventory, so we're going to put it all back, but we're going to do this. We need 9 of these. Okay, this is going to take, this isn't the way I wanted to do that. Let's grab this right here. Where's the hole? Okay, put that in there. We're going to come down here and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. Let me go blap. Blap. Okay, I'll pick you up once I get all the stuff deposited, because that's going to take. It's going to take some time. So, be right back. Okay, we finally have the stuff to weld up a discerning amount of those things. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this guy here. Let's fly for. Oh, this is heavy as hell. So we're gonna turn around. We're gonna tilt these guys up, which is 6, 8. And this is the entire. Oh, hello there, gold digger. I ain't saying he's a gold digger. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to weld up as many of these as we can. Obviously, we hand weld 2 of them. And I should be able to go into this mode and still see pretty well. Perfect. So we continue. We need to check our wing size over there, make sure we're not nuking stuff. So the idea behind these things is you can weld up more than 2 at a time. That's the whole purpose. That's why this is more efficient than the other thing, even though it doesn't actually feel like it's more efficient than the other thing. Come over here. What are we doing? What are we touching? Okay. Keep it going, keep it going. Alright, I'm going to pick you up after I get all this welded. You will see that in time. Okay. There's welded up. Lock you down. Now, interestingly enough, why are these... Are they all turned on? Green, green, green. All green. They should definitely all be firing. Let's go in here and see what's going on. Hydrogen. So all these up thrusts. Connected to fuel, yes. Okay. Weird, did I don't think I have. Alright, hydrogen thrust. Off, on. Okay, let's do a quick test, shall we? So first we need to do is, ooh, we don't have, okay, they should be on. Oh, they are on. I see them now. Okay, so first test, the immediate first test is unlock. Okay, so what did that tell us? What did that prove? Thrust. Let's get the Malafor. So lift thrust, no, but the Malafor. Okay, that's got that guy on. Those guys are still off. Perfect. Okay, so let's... It can lift it. It is not happy. That is... Ooh, we're cooking fuel trying to get this thing off the ground. So this is not enough. Okay, so this actually tells us quite a bit. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, that's what we need to know. Malafor lift thrust is definitely not... That's good. That's great, actually, is what that is. That tells us more than we thought we were going to need to know. So let's turn off the air thrusters, conserve energy, and let's go ahead and go hydrogen. So we're going to need more thrusters. That was a conclusive test to say we do not have enough thruster. That's what that tells me. There we go. Beautiful. Well, so we do have enough thrust to keep it off the ground, but to escape atmosphere, probably not. Probably not. So what do we do about that? We're going to connect some more, obviously. I think I was going to add 2 more tanks. I think that would be a smart plan, which means we just need to seal that hole. There's no reason to have it anymore, because we're not going through this hole. Oops. That's my bad. I did not mean to do that. Around here, grab that. Okay, hole sealed. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and recolor that the way it's supposed to be. I'd hate for it to not look dusty. So yeah, what did that tell us? That tells us that the lift thrust wise, we're gonna need to pull some stops out, which means we also, instead of this side thrust here, what's gonna have to happen? We're gonna have to chop that guy out. Chop that guy out. That is interestingly placed, not terribly placed, just interesting placed. We might need to go plop, 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 plop. Pops it there, pops it there. That's not the color we wanted. That's the color we wanted. Eh. Let's go ahead and grab. Well, I don't have access anymore either. You'll give me access. So, more thrust is always good. More thrust is more better. Speed is life. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, we got some extra tanks. So now we need to figure out. What do we need to figure out? We're gonna have quite a bit to think about, honestly. Grab some steel plate. We're just gonna fill this in right now. Thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. We may need to go get some ice. That may be the next thing on our list. I don't know that we can avoid it for too much longer. I think this obviously needs to go.
Inventory full.
Oof, that's making a lot of noise. Gah. There's that. I don't know what's stored in this thing. I don't think anything. There's nothing stored in it. So we're gonna need extra lift. I thought that was gonna be enough to keep us. I mean, it keeps us aloft, but it's not enough to keep this thing to make this thing fly, which is what we need. So this piping potentially. I'm trying to think how we could do this. I'm thinking about a network. So we're gonna have to go. This is going to be revisited later, but this is what we got, guys. This is our plan. We are. Oh. Bop, bop. That's 2 deaths from today. It's actually 1 death from. Is that 2 deaths? I think that's 2 deaths. That's the death I forgot to record last time and the death from today. That's what that is. So, yay. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We are redesigning this thing. Obviously, we're getting some power. The batteries, I don't know if they are, but they should be roughly on recharge at this point. Um, Current charge rate, fully charged in 2 hours. Yeah, everything is set to fully charged. Obviously, the Googler's batteries differently. Oh, and that's the thing I didn't do last time that I forgot to mention. I wanted to call this thing the Googler, and I was like, oh, I got a name for this, but then I ADD'd myself out of it. So this, I called it the Googler. Why? Because we get in it and we do scouting. We go search for stuff. We search for ore. We search for potential targets. It's the Googler. We Google and then we move about. And that's, I don't know, that's just what I thought. I thought it was funny. Made me happy, so I was like, you know what, the Googler it is. That's what's going to be. So, yeah, guys, we have done a thing. We've started the process. We know for a fact that this is going to take a little bit more effort, but we did get some stuff welded up. We're using the flying squirrel for what it's intended. That is the purpose of that thing, to help me weld this thing up. But this is the next phase. We're preparing to take this thing to space, and the way we're going to do that, we're going to get the batteries charged with some wind power while we sit here static building. We're going to reconfigure the thruster pods on the sides to be all hydrogen. Um, and then we'll probably, I don't know that we'll need to recycle those. We can go into the underframe and we can recycle the other atmospheric thrusters. That's a thing that can happen. I don't see a reason to do it right this second, especially since the flying ones are keeping us steady while we test lift thrust. So it's a good way to test lift thrust. I think it'll be useful for that at least. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. The Pronoid's probably just going to get scrapped entirely. I don't see a way to make it a spacefaring vehicle without a ton of work. And I don't even think I could make like a spiritual Pronoid successor for space. So we're probably going to and build something anew when we go to combat in space in small grid. What else? Flying Squirrel lives to see another day, even though it tried to make me delete it. I still kind of want to be honest. We're probably gonna move the giant thruster off this thing for a little bit. We don't need it up there. Honestly, it was just to kind of test what I want this to look like. I don't think that's the answer. That thing right there. And we're gonna add a deck on top of the primary cockpit now. We're gonna add another deck, sort of a upper helm, maybe the full helm of the ship, while the lower one's just like quarters or something like that. I'm not really sure. Haven't decided. I was trying to look at Pinterest and like, you know, grab a screenshot just like this. Try to look at Pinterest and grab a shot and say like, okay, what ships look like this? Like what's a cool concept I could borrow? What ships look like this? And I didn't really find anything that I was like, yeah, God, that's the one. That's the one I want to make this look like. So here we are, just looking like, why am I Oh, it literally paused the game. That's crazy. I didn't know it would do that. I hit pause instead of pause break instead of print screen or F12. So that's what we're gonna do. This is where we're at right now. This is that we got going on. Obviously, I got to cut that piston down. That's no longer useful. Um, I just didn't do that today. It's not a thing we're doing right now. I don't care whether you leave me alone. All right, guys. If you enjoyed this, you know what to do. Like button, subscribe, bell notifications so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for the comments down below. And yeah, I will catch you later, taters. Let's see if we can wave before the storm gets here. We sure can't. The storm is here. As always, be kind. Bye.